FPUC Retro is back on, baby, at least for escalated benefits. If you did not get the full amount of benefits you got per week during the second stimulus periods of March till now, you can raise your benefits. And how do you do it? In this throwback video, I explain how to raise your unemployment benefits. What is PUA, what is FPUC, and what is PEUC? On the third stimulus package, PUA goes forward at $300 a week to September. UI and PUC are extended as well. Meantime, your first $10,200 are tax-free from 2020. On this throwback video, I explain all these details about unemployment and more on Overnight's LALATE. Unemployment heats up, but is Nancy Pelosi hoping that Mark Meadows will soon be unemployed as well? Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoon's LALATE. Hope you're good and safe. It's Saturday, Catterday. The wind is blowing. We have made it to the weekend. Congratulations. Also, congratulations. That second stimulus package is coming to you. All indications are that second stimulus package will be approved shortly, as the president raised his stimulus package offer to $1.3 trillion Friday, a number that's incredibly close and incredibly good. And as big other great news, Money Man Mnuchin is coming back in town and speaking before a House subcommittee about stimulus check, stimulus package on Tuesday. Boy, incredibly great news. Let me get to the details about FPUC 1, FPUC 2.0, LWA, unemployment assistance, and I'll be answering some of your questions. Really great news. The great news across the board is that LWA has really gotten the funds out quickly, everywhere, and for lots of weeks. I never thought that when LWA debuted by executive order from the president a few weeks ago, that it would ever take this sort of light. And I think that Negative Nancy didn't think so either. But what I'm very, very impressed with is how quickly FEMA has gotten the money to the states. You know, this is not SBA and Javier Carranza. This is not Treasury that, you know, sometimes can take 3 weeks to get the money out. This is FEMA, and they got their money moving fast. The great news is that states like Arizona, Louisiana, and Missouri paid the money right away. I have viewers in Arizona have really showed me incredible detail, more about that in a second, but the funds have gone out, and that all the remaining states that have applied and have been approved for, which is about over 50% of the U.S. states now, they're going to be sending out LWA benefits within 7 days, well, actually probably within 4 days of this broadcast now, if they've not already. That's the first part of great news. Second part of great news, 3 weeks. At least. I mean, when we were talking about FEMA and LWA initially, FEMA had some really bad Negative Nancy news. Like, they didn't think they're going to have enough weeks of it. They thought it wasn't going to last. It was going to run out. We weren't going to get to September. Oh, boy. They must have had Larry Kudlow doing the math. They're just like, you know, Larry, get out of here. Just. And so then they went back, got a better calculator, got rid of Larry, and they realized, oh, we have really great news for you. 3 weeks for every state that's approved of LWA benefits, at least. And if the states applied early on, 4 weeks of benefits. Boy, really great news. So if you're in those states and your state is approved for LWA, you're getting at least 3 weeks, and if not, 4 weeks. Remember, you have to certify for benefits. So when I say this is when you certify for benefits and your benefits are eligible for that week. This is on top of UI and on top of PUA. So you have to be already in the system. Now, the next thing of good news, after we know that it's 3 weeks at least, that we know that it's coming to you very quickly within about 4 or 5 days from now, is a third thing. The earlier states will get 4 weeks. Wow. I mean, who would have thought this was the situation it was going to become? Finally, retroactive. There was one report, which, I can only do is report the reports. There was a report from a major broadcast news channel, financial news channel. I reported it about 3 days ago that said that Arizona was not doing retroactive benefits. I had a viewer reach out to me and said, LLA, here you go. That report is totally untrue. I got retroactive benefits for LWA. So yeah, I have not yet seen a single state that's not doing retroactive benefits. And I know a lot of you are sending me DMs. I'm looking at them, or tweets and things like that. But by all indications, nearly all states are doing LWA retroactively. How does that calculate? How does that impact FPUC 1? How does it impact FPUC 2.0? How about the $100 minimum? Let me go over all that wonderful news right now. First, if you were on FPUC, if you were on PUA and if you were on PUA and UI from any time from March to July, and when I mean on, I mean eligible. You applied and you got approved for weeks in the month of March to July, you are still getting FPUC 1.0. You're going to get that $600 a week from the federal government, which comes from the Treasury, goes into the state coffers, and the state unemployment offices pay you out. You're still going to get that. That's the case for everyone. Next, the last week that FPUC 1.0 expired, then starts the first week of LWA and would also start the first week of FPUC 2.0. More about that in a second. So LWA is now being paid back to that first week after FPUC 1.0 expired. So I think by now, I don't have a calendar on set, but I think by now we're almost 3 weeks since FPUC expired. So that would be 3 weeks of benefits. So a lot of you who have now been in the system, been qualified, got everything certified, you are now seeing 3 times $300, $900, bam, landed your bank account. Will you see more? If you're in the earlier states like Arizona, you could see an additional $300. Will you see 5 weeks? No, that's just not the case. Will this all run out after 5 weeks? Yes, it'll actually run out somewhere around 4 weeks. There just won't be any more money. That's it. Is it running out faster because of the hurricane? No. I've had that question as well. So 3 to 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks after FPUC expired is when this will run out. There won't be any more money. I got to give you that date. So you need to go pull a calendar. If you are really dependent financially for your livelihood, for your apartment, for your rent on LWA, you need to look at the calendar and count out when would the 4th week of LWA actually be, or what is 4 weeks since FPUC expired. That is the week you need to be concerned, because that's the week which you may not get anything of FPUC 1.0 or LWA unless you're those earlier states. And going forward with that, that's when you may have a really tight period of time that, we don't have the bill signed yet and things like that. So I want you to be prepared for that week coming up. Next, FPUC 1.0. So if you're still waiting for FPUC 1.0 to pay for those weeks of March to July, it will. It has nothing to do with the fact that we're almost in September. It just will if you certify for those weeks. LWA going forward, well, they're bringing everyone up to speed. So ultimately what's going to happen is you're going to get 3 weeks. You may get 2 and then 1, or then 3 altogether, but you're going to get 3 weeks, and then those states you'll get 4. How about FPUC 2.0? Okay, first, that question that I had to answer about 2 days ago, but I want to answer it again because it's a very important question. Will FPUC 2.0 mirror and look like and operate like FPUC 1.0? Yes, absolutely. So will there be that $100 minimum that's in LWA will be in FPUC 2.0? No. That's a crazy thing. I don't know where that came from. Trump just put it in that executive order and was like, Larry, you do this? It's like, where did this thing come from? It just showed up and everyone was just like, what is this darn thing? It's just, it's like the person who writes Nancy's press release. Like, who invited you? I was like, I don't like your press release. So it just showed up. Now, what does that mean for you in FPUC 2.0? It's actually a good thing. Let me explain. FPUC 2.0 will start on the last week that FPUC 1.0 ended. Yes, it'll pick up where FPUC 1.0's ended, but states will likely have to deduct for LWA payments. So if your state did apply for LWA and got approved and did pay out LWA benefits to you, pay out to you, then they'll likely deduct that from whatever FPUC 2.0 is. Now, if they did not pay you LWA benefits because you weren't at the $100 threshold, don't worry, you'll just get the full FPUC 2.0. Here's an example of how this works out. Let's say FPUC 2.0 is $500 a week. You know that LWA is $300 a week, okay? So let's say you already got LWA for this week, $300. Well, when FPUC 2.0 is approved at $500 a week, then you'll get $200 also additional for this week, retroactive. It'll go back and say, oh, we gave you $300, but now the rule's $500 retro, so here's a $200 to make it up. They'll do that. Now, if you did not get anything this week because you were in that $100 Trump threshold problem, then when FPUC 2.0 is approved, retroactively you'll get the $500 for that week. You know, when I was doing UI and PUA videos, and I've been doing this since the very first day of this channel. I can't believe we've passed 4 months. 2 days ago. It was the 25th? Yeah, the 25th, just a few days ago. So, I've done a PUA video every single day this channel existed. I don't think there's any other topic I've done every single day except PUA and UI and FPUC, except that. But when I did the first, I was always having people with issues about getting things approved and things with eligibility. Really one of the hardest things is getting through to these telephone services. You just gotta get up early, you gotta call them and get through on the line. Escalated benefits. I don't talk about it enough, and every time I tease it, someone's like, oh, can you please talk about it? Please talk about it. Please talk. And I'm like, hey, talk about escalated benefits. So let me talk about escalated benefits again. I haven't talked about it in about 2 weeks now. You may qualify for escalated benefits. That's what I call them. Other people call them something else. What is escalated benefits? Escalated benefits means that more benefits under your state's unemployment calculation. If you go into Google and you type in the word maximum benefits unemployment state by state or something like that, it'll come up with a graph and it'll show California maximum benefit and it'll show a number. New York maximum benefit and it'll show a number. Texas maximum. What does that mean? It means that in each state it'll show the amount they pay for the maximum amount of unemployment benefits per week. Every state is different. New England has the highest number. New York and Boston, and New York and Massachusetts pay a lot. Some of the Southwest states pay the lowest amount. And so maximum benefits is the maximum amount they'll pay out in a state. When you're approved for UI or PUA, and you come into the system, you're getting paid, you're at what's called the base level benefit amount. That means, when you come into California, let's say you're approved for California 167. 167 is their base level. That's not, that's the beginners. That's the go-kart. If you want to get into the higher level go-kart, you got to do escalated benefits. Well, what is it? How much is it? How do you do it? And where does it go? Okay, so how much is it? Very simple. You can look up what I just told you, maximum benefits, and that's where you can max out. So the most you can get per week is the maximum benefits. Some states can pay you somewhere in the range from minimum to maximum. But what I'm going to explain to you now is that a lot of you just may be at maximum. Why? Generally, what I have seen from this channel since April is that if you made $30,000 gross rev 2019 or more, you qualify for maximum benefits. Yeah, it's not a lot of money. When we're doing these economic reports and we're talking about $40,000 as the poverty line, sometimes in some of these reports, and I'm saying if you made $30,000, you qualify for escalated maximum benefits. Yes, they're very low thresholds. Now every state is different, but generally, if you made $30,000 gross rev, you're generally at maximum benefits. Okay, so how does that work then? Well, if you're sitting around and you've been paid, 167 from California, for the last 3 weeks. I'm not talking about FPUC, that goes on top of it. And 167, 167, 167, and then you're like, oh, maximum benefits is what? I don't know what it is in California. Let's just give out a number, $400. $400? That's like a difference of $300 per week. Was I've been paying like 4 weeks, $300 times 4 weeks. That's like $1,200. Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And if you've been on unemployment benefits for 10 weeks, 20 weeks? If you're on PUA and you're upwards of 30 weeks, 30 weeks times what, a $300 difference? You can do the math, $9,000. Yeah, it's a lot of money. How do you do it? What do you do? Where do you send it? You need to pull out your 2019 tax return. I don't file taxes. This is not going to help you. I haven't done my taxes yet. Then go do them. They're late. If you pull your 2019 taxes and you pull out the Schedule C or your normal just front page of taxes, and you look at line 1, look at what gross rev is. Now, some states may not go off of gross rev, some may go off of net, but they're generally not looking at, let's say you had a fortune of deductions because you just had a lot of deductions, but you made a lot of money. They're going off of gross revenue. So look at that. Look at the number and you're like, oh my God. Yeah, I did have a good 2019. Okay. If that's the case, you should be applying for escalated benefits. What do? What you should do is you should take this tax return, the 2019, scan it, get it in your computer, and then you should go to your computer and open up a Word document, start writing a letter. And the letter should be to the unemployment office of your state. Say, hi, here I am. Here's my social security number. I've attached a copy of my 2019 tax return. I think, don't say you're certain. You're not Nancy Pelosi, who thinks everything is exactly her way. I think that I may qualify for escalated benefits. Here's my 2019 tax return. 2019, my gross revenue was. Can you please check and see whether I qualify for escalated benefits? Please get back to me. Thank you. Signed, so and so. Write that letter. Attach the schedule to the return. And then send it to your unemployment office. Okay, how do you send it? This was probably the most complicated part of this story through all of April and May. When PUA went live, I just constantly had questions every single day saying, well, the state unemployment website has no place to send a message. Has no place to upload a letter. It barely has, it barely has scotch tape holding it together. So I said, well, I don't know. So in some cases, your state has the place in the portal. Your unemployment website has a place in the portal to send correspondences. You'll click a button and it'll upload the document. That letter I told you to write digitally, yeah, has to be a PDF format. It'll upload the document, send it off to the Department of Review. Other states just they just don't want to hear from you. So there's no place to send them anything or email them anything. So in those cases, I say spend the $4, go to the post office and do priority mail and have it there in 2 days. I mean, there's no other choice. A lot of great stuff. I hope this video helped you. If escalated benefits and all this sort of mathematical analysis, which I don't always do because sometimes it really helps a lot of people, and other people it may not apply to them. But if this helps you, please hit that like button. It really helps the algorithm. I mean, really, no one's doing these type of calculations for you. It's important that this channel goes higher in the rankings because it's people doing this and this and this and that. And they're sending out really false stuff, and you don't want them to rank higher. You've been doing incredibly great stuff overnight. I mean, one video thing did 13,000 or 14,000 likes. Just incredible. So on a video that's does 100,000 views, let's try to get 20,000 likes. Let's try to do it. And then also hit that subscribe and alert button so you get an alert when a new video goes live. Coming up next is rent. As always, stay informed, stay motivated, stay smiling, and join me tonight on Evenings LALATE as well. That will be a bombshell. Have a great afternoon. Take care.